I have this vision recently that I've created a life for myself that is really pretty happy. I have a nice little apartment in a nice little area. I walk around. I taught at a nice school. All these things were good. I had two nice guys, little boys who grew up to be men who I like. Things are great. But every once in a while, something comes back in some sort of strange, scratchy voice, and I go, wow, how did that cut through all this coziness that I've created? And I am surprised that your life still can hear voices that were from long ago that you see in a different light, or someone put a blue light on it, or someone did changed the texture of it. And so suddenly it becomes new and fresh. And so there seems like it's like Arthur and possibly in Michigan. You just never really get past your boogeyman. You can cut him up, you can eat him, you can throw him in the trash, but he's always there having a cigarette, like the pig. And he just transformed himself in some way into the pig who's having a smoke or having a glass of wine or something. Well, my name is Cecelia Condit, and I make videos, short videos that somehow pertain to my world, your world too. I don't know if I have much choice in the matter. I mean, I make them, but I make them, and they help me stay alive. I guess it's the cathartic nature of art sometimes. But I think that if I didn't make them, I would be crazy. So that's a very important reason to make them. And also, even though I make them, I think they sort of make me. I choose the subject, try to sculpt them, but they don't really follow my lead. It's as though the world introduces things to me, and suddenly I'm in the position to grab something that feels like it's outside of me. So if I can, I was trying to make an environmental piece, a solid environmental piece. And when I try doing something like that, I can't force it. It doesn't go. It has to be part of other material. I'm not didactic in any way, and I can't make anything. I can't choose a subject in the same way I like to be able to. My mother and father were both painters. They were certainly nothing like my work, but yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't. The fruit didn't fall far from the tree, I guess, but my work is different than theirs. They were both painters, and they did lots of different kinds of things. I feel like I stayed on a Johnny One Note kind of a life course. I start out always having to do with women and always having to do with violence. And I don't know, I sort of surround that tree somehow. a consistent thing I do from the beginning. And I guess a certain anger, right? And girlfriends, and once in a while I'll throw a mother image in, or a bad guy. My work helps me deal with different parts of my past and also my present.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Ghosts?
Yeah.
I used to not only believe in them, I used to see them all over the place. I didn't think, I remember a friend of mine I was talking to told me that when I was in my 20s, I was always seeing these guys walking around the house, and I was 5 of them. She said, I don't remember them. And she said there were 5 of them. She asked me if I was afraid of them. And I said, no, they're not the slightest bit dangerous. So I guess I must have either been a little crazy or there were ghosts in my place. But I don't remember it. But I do know that now I don't see ghosts. But I am very psychic, or at least in the past, I have been psychic. So I can see things with people that I love happening. And I've been pretty right. Like a friend of mine had always wanted to have a boyfriend, and she just never seemed to find someone she really cared for who cared for her. And I had this vision that she was going to be married within a year to a really spectacular guy. So I saw it when I came into work next day, and I said, gotta tell you, what's on the agenda for you for this year? So she told her mother, and she told her father, and they sent me the hugs and kisses. And that night she had said she was on a blind date with this guy, and she married him within this year. And it isn't as though I thought I was so brilliant, but I was thinking that power of suggestion may have allowed her to actually envision a beautiful, happy relationship with this guy within a year, as though it was possible. I thought that I'd be able to get rid of things. Like when I did Beneath the Skin in that murder story, I thought I'd get rid of a lot of the fear I had about the murder, or being murdered, or could I have been murdered, or, oh, I don't even know, nameless fears, just nameless things. Not being able to smell bodies, to think that the body was in the closet, a million things, like decomposing bodies. Trash bags and bodies, like, we're talking like physical strangeness. And I did, possibly because I thought that that would be something that I wasn't done with it. The subject wasn't done. And I thought then, because I was so young, that you can really get rid of fear. And what you do is you can, but you can't, you have to make friends with it in some way. So possibly was a way of trying to make friends of boogeyman images, like bodies in trash bags, that appear in Not a Jealous. As Sophie goes walking around and there's big trash bins, and my image is not just that she smells trash, she smells dead bodies and trash bins. So they're just like little narrative continuums. And I'm always taking pictures of trash bags because they will forever, they are etched in my mind. But I thought that when I did, I've been afraid that I would be less afraid. And I think I am, but I'm not done being afraid. And I thought that if I had made possibly, and then in Not a Jealous Bone, I killed my mother, right? A mother. The young old woman kills the young mother, right? So it's confusing what happens. But in my mind, the older woman's mother died when she was young, because that's what happened. I worked in nursing homes for years. And so all these old women had these beautiful young women on their dresser by their bed. And I would say, is that your granddaughter? They say, no, it's my mother. She died. That's the last photograph of her. And so I thought, well, that's why I made the woman young. And also there's this rage that there's no one to take, was never really the care that they needed. And then they're old, and that's still caring and needing that care. I was thinking how angry it must make them. I think life, it's nice to have a long enough life to get through a lot of the things you have to get through with life. And I think young people, you have to tackle them head on, but you don't have to tackle them. And, you have a lifetime to do it. And hopefully being the lifetime will make you a kinder, wiser, gentler being, for all the anger and the hurt, right?
What do you think the future looks like?
I mean, my future of the world.
Your choice.
Well, I think we're all sort of intertwined. I mean, even me, I'm working on a piece and it's a very private little piece. I mean, I walk around, I crawl around in the mud and I think I'm on the surface of the earth, or is it the moon, or is it Mars? And I feel like there's this strange artificial intelligence voice, which is Alexa, that somehow reacts to me. And phones ring. I'm sort of surrounded by a world that isn't me, trying to figure out, who I am and what kind of animal I am. And I think usually I'm totally personal, which this piece is, but I'm also think I'm on a human. And I don't think I've often been a human. I've been an abused person, and I've been a woman who doesn't like her mom too much. And I've been somebody who really had a hard time with a guy or two, but I have not ever been a human on this planet. And I think I'm leaning